The discovery that changed everything. And did I tell you it was love at first sight? I had just gotten my divorce papers. My wife left me for my best friend. She said she needed a man who could offer her more than just love. I guess that was my weak point. No matter how hard I tried, no matter how much money I made, I was always going to be just a guy who loved cars and worked as a mechanic. But sometimes when life gives you lemons, you just have to make lemonade. And that's what I did. I took all the money I had saved up for a down payment on a house, and I spent it on something even better. A vintage 1937 Cadillac Series 75. It was a beast of a car, just like the ones they used to drive in the Godfather movies. But this one was mine now. I spent the next few months restoring it, taking it apart, piece by piece, replacing everything that was worn out, making sure it would run like a champ. One day, as I was cleaning out the trunk, I found something strange. There was a loose floorboard. When I lifted it up, I saw there was a secret compartment underneath. Inside, I found an old leather pouch, and when I opened it, there were stacks of old letters, photographs, and documents. They were yellowed with age, but the ink was still legible. I carefully started to read through them, and that S. When I learned the truth about my Cadillac and the man who owned it, the car had belonged to a successful black entrepreneur from the 1930s. His name was William Green. He owned a chain of gas stations and restaurants. He had built his business from nothing during the Great Depression, despite the fact that he was black in a white man's world. He was a legend in his hometown, known for his hard work, his integrity, and his generosity. I learned that he was also a family man, a husband and a father who loved to drive around town in his vintage Cadillac. The more I read, the more I felt a connection with this man. I could feel his pride, his joy, and his struggles. He had overcome so much to achieve his dreams, and he had done it with style, with class, and with dignity. He was a true boss. As I continued to restore the car, I couldn't help but think about him. What had happened to his business? Why was his legacy forgotten? And why did he leave this car with all these mementos inside? I wanted to know more about him, about his life and his times. So I went to the library and I started to research him. I found out that he had been born in the early 1900s in a small town in Mississippi. He had grown up poor, but he was determined to make something of himself. He moved to Chicago and started working as a mechanic, just like me. But he didn't stop there. He saved up his money and he started buying gas stations. He bought the first one in 1928. It was a small, run-down place, but he saw the potential. He cleaned it up, he made it modern, and he hired friendly staff. Soon enough, he had built a reputation for honesty and quality service, and his business was booming. It kept going, expanding his empire, opening more gas stations and restaurants. He became one of the wealthiest men in town. He was also one of the most respected. He was known for his philanthropy, his charity, and his activism. He helped the less fortunate. He fought for civil rights, and he mentored young black entrepreneurs. He was a trailblazer, an inspiration, and a role model. But his story wasn't easy. He faced many obstacles, many challenges, and many setbacks. He was often denied credit or loans because of his race. He was sometimes forced to sell his products at a discount because of the competition. He was sometimes threatened or intimidated by white supremacists. But he never gave up. He never lost hope. He never compromised his principles. And that's what I love about him. That's what I admire about him. That's what I want to emulate. As I finished restoring the car, I felt like I had brought a piece of history back to life. But I also felt like I had discovered a part of myself, a part of my heritage, a part of my soul. I had found my hero. I had found my inspiration. I had found my motivation. This old Cadillac was more than just a car to me. It was a symbol of excellence, a symbol of perseverance, a symbol of pride. It was a reminder that no matter how difficult things are, no matter how hopeless things seem, we should never give up on our dreams. We should never lose sight of our goals. We should never compromise our values. This is what the car taught me, and I will never forget it. Marcus not only restored the car, but he also found his own path to success, inspired by the legacy hidden within his vintage Cadillac. If you liked this story, you might also enjoy another story, The Shoebox.